Ariana Moreno, and I will be sharing a little bit about my experience with literacy. A book that really resonates with me is this book, A Spoon for Every Bite. It's a moral tale around an old Hispanic joke about tortillas. I remember this book being read to me as a read out loud, and this book really, till this day, resonates with me. And I think when we talk about this concept of culturally sustaining pedagogy and this concept of multicultural and multilinguistic, when we talk about these concepts, I think that my teachers were really trying to embed in us this concept and teach in a way that we would be able to relate to this story. Majority of us that grew up in our small town, we were all English language learners, and a lot of us came from a Hispanic background. So I think our teachers did a great job at grasping that, our attention towards that. Once I got to middle school, a book that really resonated with me, and till this day, majority of the books I still remember, but specifically this one by Mona Rees, The Two Badges. It talked a little bit about a a girl who picked the becoming an officer and being a LAPD officer versus being in a gang. And growing up in a poor community, our teachers were able to grasp this hold on this multicultural and identify the reading to us, and we were able to connect and build those relationships with our teacher in that way. My teacher, April Lopez, I remember, read this book to us and we were fascinated. It was a book about self identity, which at the time I did not know. And it was my first time actually ever reading like an autobiography from a first person perspective. And it was really a really great book. The Outsiders as well, another great book that talked about gang life and that, you know, choices in life and self identity and choices, and that we all have choices. And Frank, another book, The Giver. This was around middle school. And then when I got to high school, we read our classics, To Kill a Mockingbird, Lord of the Flies, Grapes of Wrath, Of Mice and Men, The Jungle by Upton Sinclair, one of my favorites, talked about, social justice in a lot of the topics, talked about workers, talked about the conditions in which, a lot of these workers were working, in women in general as well. To Kill a Mockingbird about, race and discrimination. The Lord of the Flies, kind of almost like a society that these kids had to build off of. But that's kind of my experience with literacy throughout, throughout my school.